when, as a black woman and as a black little girl, when you see that, when you see a man, like, he gets money and he's like elevating in life, it's like, why aren't we being chosen?
Interracial dating conversations are very funny, specifically when it's the black men dating out, when it's the black men with money that's dating out. Subscribe, let's talk about it.
When you see a man, like, he gets money and he's like elevating in life, it's like, why aren't we being chosen? From what I took from it, when we see black men of money and black men of power, we typically see them dating outside their race. And so when, as a black woman and as a black little girl, when you see that, when you see a man, like, he gets money and he's like elevating in life, it's like, why aren't we being chosen? So I think what he's trying to state is kind of like, black men in those positions have a responsibility to the black community, to black girls, because we're looking at them, and if in majority they're turning to outside their race, how does that not make you as a black woman feel like you're not worthy?
I think the first obvious thing to say is that you're not obligated to live your life according to some other person's standards. Not an 8-year-old, not an 80-year-old, not an 18-year-old. It's your life. You get to determine who your partner is going to be, period. You can't put this on black men or this hyper individualized, successful black man that dates out. You can't use that and say, well, you as a young little girl watching, how come he's not with someone black? He owes you. He doesn't. He doesn't. We don't have that type of community. And even if we did, that's not his business. That's not his purview. You cannot live your life according to someone else's terms. You can't. You can't. But with that being said, this is all wrong, right? Yeah, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. What this is, of course, right? You understand, first of all, 80% of black people are married to each other, right? People get race loyalty, especially as that number goes up in terms of income. Those people making 6-7 figures, their partners are black. If there's a black man, it's probably a black woman, right? You've got an 80 to 85% chance of that being the case, sometimes up to 90. People get race loyal when they have options, when they have monetary options. They still want each other. That's the fact. What you see here is you being influenced. And this is not one of those, it's the white man's. This is one of those that's completely obvious. Sometimes what it looks like, they kind of want you to stay single. Single people want you to stay in that sort of market. And since you don't have a habit of thinking for yourself, this isn't gender, right? This isn't gender. This is, we all kind of do this. In this age, we have a habit of not thinking for ourselves. So as long as we hear something frequently, we believe it. Then I flash you a couple of images of examples that back this up. You don't look for the data. You don't look for the data. You don't ask yourself a question yourself. You don't say, is that true? You look at hyper successful people who become single digit percentage of the population, single digit percentages of the population. You say, damn the hell with the rest of the 90, the 93, the 95. All I care is what I saw in front of me. How come he's not with a black woman? Here's my example. You pass so many other examples in your life, in your daily life, of people together who are of your same color or are of the same color. You have countless examples of black men choosing black women or black women choosing black men, them being rich, them being wealthy, them being six-figured. But you want to focus on the negative. You want to focus on the one example, the one or two examples that you see and say, you see? That's the problem with you black men. This is why we have trouble having real conversations. This is how come we feel excluded from these conversations or feel the need to take the step back, because you're not arguing in good faith. You're arguing off your feeling and your emotion and what words can I put together in the whole of English language? What words can I put together in some Spanish? I got some of that. What can I put together that's going to convince you of a truth you cemented in your heart that is based on a lie? What can I do? You can tell us. If it were possible to change your mind with a conversation, then we should have one. But the truth is, the sad truth is, you came ready to defend a position rather than to challenge your position. You didn't come with the thought that, hey, I might be wrong. Let me be open to being incorrect. Let me be open to the fact I may have something sort of confused. This is an opportunity for edification. This is an opportunity for me to walk away from this conversation better, or it's an opportunity for you to walk away from this conversation better. I may have points that you haven't thought of. That way we both sharpen each other's points of view and we walk away better, not belligerent, not belligerently believing one myopic sort of view. And it's always a myopic thing. It's always a bad thing. It does not matter how many times you see something in your life. It does not matter how many times a man has opened the door for you, held it open for you. You go out and still say chivalry is dead. It does not matter how many times someone offers you the seat or offers to help you in some sort of physical sort of way. You still think poorly. Then you put this out on other men who don't owe you a damn thing. You were at the gas station pumping your own gas. All these men around, how come they didn't pump the gas? They don't owe you anything. Just like the little girl, the little 8-year-old girl, you watch one or two black men get with white women or women of another race, and you say, how come? They don't owe you anything. And arguments like this make sure they know they don't. They absolutely don't. These people that are the ultra rich, right? Because that's what we're talking about. We're getting into the 5 to the 1%. These people that you're highlighting and looking at their lives, particularly looking at their lives and saying, that's the example, that's the rubric. But you ignore the real deal happen in front of you. You ignore your aunts and uncles. You ignore your 6-figure aunts and uncles. No, that's not important. The teacher, anyone, the doctor that you go to, your OBGYN, you see the black, married. You ignore all that. But you'll focus on the celebrity. Right? The 1 percentile celebrity. And how come this happens to this? Or the NBA player, how come this? But you ignore the rest of the league. You ignore the rest of the NFL and say, yeah, majority of guys here are black and majority of guys, they were black women. But you focus on this white snow bunny and you say, how come that? You guys aren't even in the same league. You guys aren't in the same area. You don't have those outcomes. You don't know what she did to even get there. But somehow he owes it to the community not to be happy. When we hold women's sort of happiness as paramount, as gospel, as reasons to dissolve a relationship, a 10, 20 year, I wasn't happy. And we have to learn to accept that as men. She says she's unhappy. What can you do about that? Yes, it is a thing that ended your marriage. It broke the family apart. Now you got visitation every other weekend. But because she wasn't happy, that's why this is all permissible. So what if the guy wasn't happy with black women? What if he wasn't happy with his experience? What if he was happy with that person? Why we can't seem to hold these two disparate ideas together, even though they're not really disparate, they're very similar. They're very similar. Let people be with whomever makes them happy. Whoever's earned that position in a life and they've earned that position in that person's life. You want examples of black excellence, black people, black rich people getting together? Look at them. The thing is, you're not looking for them. You're looking for the antithesis of them. And the minute you find it, the minute you walk past miles of evidence and arrive at this conclusion, now you're like, aha. We get to the point where we have to ask, do you just want to be upset? So if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. Of course, if you listen to my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. I'm just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.